Some of the programs broadcast are pre-recorded here on KNX, but now this one, it's all live. Hello, California. Welcome to a murky Monday. Mike Roy, Danny Bracken, roasting chestnuts by an open microphone, and the conversation's going to be about cookery.
It's half live, I say.
Aren't you with it yet, big fella?
No, as a matter of fact, I was such a good boy all weekend and took care of myself and followed your advice. You raised heck with me Friday for smoking. I smoked one cigarette since yesterday, you know.
You're still coughing and hacking?
Well, ever so often. But a funny thing, now, I hadn't coughed all morning to speak of or anything until about 2 minutes to airtime. I started hacking away. I don't know whether it's a psychological thing or whether the Otis is
stretch out
honest.
on a couch there, Michael. I want you to relax. Just take it easy among friends here. For the balance of the hour, we're going to talk Christmas cookery.
Well, you start to tense
cough.
up and saying, really to prepare myself to go on the air with this kind of a show takes a kind of a special thing. Everybody had warm-ups in the old days, and you kind of got ready. And I keep thinking, well, what are they going to ask me today? And then I go through and I say Jewish cookery, Scandinavian cookery, Polynesian cookery, and I still don't know, what's going to happen. So I really can't get ready except just get on my toes and see if I can get some adrenaline type of flowing around. Incidentally, should report that the Restaurant Writers Association had another very effective meeting on Friday at down the Beachcombers. And this is a rather new organization of all the people in the newspapers and media around town who write about restaurants and who talk about restaurants. Phil Perrell is our president. Lois Dwan from the Times, Bob Curry from the Examiner, all the papers, the Beverly Hills, Mark Schwartz from the Beverly Hills Citizen is with us, and San Gabriel Valley Times and Tribune, they're with us. Valley Times, Bill Bush I've known for years, Mark Lipsey from out there at the Van Nuys News and Green Sheet.
What's the idea, Mike? What do you talk about, or what do you decide?
Restaurants.
Primarily. Talk about your favorite places to eat?
Things like that, and also what we can do to promote restaurants and help restaurant people. We're interested in the food business. By and large, many of us, I don't to that degree, that I have other things to talk about than restaurants. But restaurants help us, and we would like to help them. Also, we have a feeling that some of the big awards, Holiday Award, etc., which are considered prize plums in the restaurant field, is a result of a brief survey by some out-of-towners who really don't know the Southern California restaurant picture. And they may come in and on the basis of rumors and so forth go to 4 or 5 restaurants and always the same one. There's always Perino, LaRue, Escandia, etc., Dave Chasen, Occidental Tower. And these restaurants are always being given the awards. Whereas Southern California really has a plethora of fine restaurants. You can go out in the valley, you can go down Downey Way, you can go down Orange County Way, go down the South Bay area, down towards Santa Monica, and you find fine food in many, many places. So one of the jobs we intend to do is come up with a standard of awarding prizes and awards to restaurants for excellence.
Do it locally, to heck with those out-of-towners. They'll
That's
still
right.
go to the same 5 restaurants.
And we have spent now about 6 meetings in organizing this thing and trying to come up with a rating system, whether it be on points or stars. And suppose that the finest restaurant you had would be a 5-star restaurant. But that wouldn't preclude, for instance, a place like an Entree Cafeteria or Bob's Big Boy or any one of those restaurants from being a 5-star restaurant in its category. What we're after is excellence in categories, whether it be...
You had a good idea.
This is what we're working on. And as I say, all of us continually work on it. So we met and dined well and sipped well over at down the Beachcomber on Friday.
You still didn't drown that cold, huh?
No. Then I went up. I hadn't paid for my Viking baskets this year, and I went up to see Ludd. I ran into Jerry Dumphy up there, and
up where now? Where
Scandia.
Scandia.
Hit for Scandia, yes. You see. So and Ken Hansen was there, and we chatted for a while, and we thought I better float homeward after a while, but at the same time, I didn't do a thing.
I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to float some Miracle White here and get the phone lines open at Hollywood 1-9911, Kimberly 71070, and Yukon 11070.
Yeah.
Audience wants to tackle you.
Sure, the big day is, a week from today.
Today, yeah.
And that means we've only got this week left to do our cooking. So rather than us do our Christmas recipes anymore, I think we can do our best service by throwing open the phone lines, huh?
Find out what you need to know out there.
Meanwhile, don't forget my Miracle White First-In Concentrated Fabric Softener, please, friend homemaker. This is not exactly a week for getting the washing done, although I suppose you do have to do a certain amount of washing. Just the necessity. By this time, all the lacy things should be done, all your tablecloths, your napery. I always like that word napery for napkins and so forth. I wonder where it came from.
Beats me. It's the first time I've heard it. It's not in my vocab.
Well, a whole lot of all the napkins in the joint is the napery equipment of the place. And if you want them soft and absorbent and fluffy, use Miracle White Fabric Softener in the washing machine, please. And, of course, this is the one we call the First-In Concentrated Fabric Softener because you add this one to the wash cycle, not like the other ones on the market, the old-fashioned ones. You have to go back to the rinse cycle. And when you add Miracle White Fabric Softener at the start of the wash, you get a new softness for your entire wash. Softness through both the wash and the all-rinse cycles. So no waiting for the final rinse, like, as I said, with the old-fashioned fabric softeners. You don't have to babysit the washing machine. You merely add the Miracle White Fabric Softener to the wash water and then walk away and forget it. You'll find that you won't have any static cling, yet you'll have easier ironing, faster ironing too, no more diaper chafes, less wrinkles, and a lot of the things won't need ironing at all. Miracle White Fabric Softener. It's sold on a double-your-money-back guarantee like all the other fine Miracle White products, and that means you just can't go wrong with it. Miracle White Fabric Softener. It's at your store now.
Bonjour, Mrs. Benoit. Your question for Mike, please.
Yes, good morning, Danny and Mike, and I wish you a very Merry Christmas and a
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you, ma'am.
And this is quite simple, but I don't think I do it correctly, and I would like your help, please. It is how to bake extra stuffing in the oven. If you know, like some people do, and my family does, more stuffing than is in the turkey.
Yes, I know that. All of us kind of like that. As a matter of fact, I'm a dressing man myself. I'd give up both the yams and the mashed potatoes in favor of more stuffing.
That's right, but I think I've done it incorrectly before, so I thought I'd...
I'll tell you very simply, if you make your stuffing the same way, except when you add moisture to it, it should have stock.
I see.
That is chicken stock or beef stock, but it should have stock in it.
Yes, sir.
And then it can go into a buttered casserole.
Into a buttered casserole.
And the top of it should be dotted with butter. And then it just bakes in about an hour in the regular oven.
About 350.
Yeah,
300. And is this covered or not, Mike?
No, it's open.
It's open. I have covered it before, and I think that's where I've had my problem.
No, you want to get a little crispiness on top.
Yes, sir. So you just leave it wide open at
Right.
350 for an hour.
That's right.
Well, thank you very much for your help.
Thank you for calling. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you so much.
We journey to Orange County. Mrs. Schaefer's on the line, and your question, please.
I need the recipe again for this 4-bottle punch. And
All right, very simple. The bourbon one.
yes, and that wine is hard to find. Is there a substitute?
Yes, there is. It's very difficult. It's really white grape juice. It's called Catawba. That's what it calls for. Now, I substitute with a California product, which is a non-alcoholic champagne. And it's called Celebration.
Celebration?
You can use a substitute there. So it's 1 bottle of either the white grape juice or the Celebration, 1 bottle of bourbon, 1 bottle of ginger ale, and a half a bottle of soda.
And 1/2 of just regular...
Yeah, White Rock soda or whatever.
Okay, thank you. And before New Year's, are you going to be giving little, like New Year's buffet suggestions?
Yeah, we'll get to that, I think, after Christmas.
Fine. Well, I'll wait and listen then.
All right,
Thank you,
very
ma'am.
good.
Thank you.
How about a slice of Grandma's fruitcake?
Yeah,
here,
this is one of the last times. We've only got a couple more days to go, and you can still pick up your Grandma's fruitcakes in time for Christmas. These are so delicious. I keep waiting because I got one at home, see, and that's one we're going to be having this year. I haven't had a chance to bake fruitcakes. You know, the kitchen has all been
That's
torn
the
up.
lamest excuse I've ever heard. You're just like Grandma's. You're too lazy to make your own.
Oh, Grandma's are so good. And as a matter of fact, they're better, I think, than some of those that I make. I love Grandma's fruitcakes, and you will, too. I got those imported French cherries and the pineapple and the select walnuts and Spanish almonds and pecans and those extra fancy golden California raisins and other fine fruits and fresh cake butter. How can you beat that?
Have you drizzled in a little extra brandy?
Oh,
there, huh?
sure.
I kinda
Everybody
thought, it's
does
soaking
it.
in cheesecake.
Sure. Uh-huh. So these grandma's fruitcakes are expensive, but the reason they're expensive is that they've got the ingredients in them. They come in the 2-pound box for $4.60, a 3-pound cake that's packed in a lithographed metal container, and that one is $6.44, and then the big 5-pounder for $9.38. And if you'd like to have them, you send your mail your name and address to Mike Roy, Post Office Box 5652, Pasadena. Now, the zip code number is 91107. Now, you need not send any money with your order. Grandmas will bill you later. Again, I better say that these are not my fruitcake recipes. This is Grandma's. They merely ask you to send the order to me, Mike Roy, Post Office Box 5652, Pasadena 91107. And you don't have to send money because Grandma's will bill you later. Now, also, if you'd like them sent to other people as gifts, be sure you include the names and addresses of those people, too, and Grandma will also bill you for those. So be sure to specify the 2-pound, the 3-pound, or the 5-pound. Now, if you'd like to prepay them, go ahead and send your check or money order. That's $4.60 for the 2-pound cake, $6.44 for the 3-pound cake, and $9.38 for the 5-pound cake. The address is Grandma's, Mike Roy, Post Office Box 5652, Pasadena 91107.
Good morning, ma'am. Welcome to KNX, and your question, please.
I'd like the recipe for a banana nut cake.
Are you talking about a banana nut bread or a cake?
A cake.
You want a real soft white cake type?
I'd like a rather moist cake.
Uh-huh.
Because my daughter has to make one for the Girl Scouts.
Uh-huh.
And, so this is going to be sort of a combination effort, and we're just crossing our fingers that everything's just going to go right on it, you know.
I would cheat, of course, if I were you. I'd use a cake mix.
Well, I don't know. I just, you know.
You can't bring yourself to it, huh? All righty. But I'll see if I can't get you. And most of them go for this. I would say this. First of all, this makes 2 9-inch round layers.
Uh-huh.
And all of the ingredients for this recipe should be at room temperature, about 75 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you sift before measuring 2 1/4 cups of cake flour.
Echo along, ma'am, so we're sure you've got the ingredients spoonful for spoonful.
2 1/4 cups of flour.
Cake flour.
Uh-huh.
Now, re-sift it with a 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder.
1/2 teaspoon of baking powder.
3/4 teaspoon of soda.
3/4 teaspoon.
Soda. And a 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
1/2 teaspoon of salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you sift separately 1 1/2 cups of sugar.
1 1/2 cups of sugar.
And you cream a 1/2 cup of butter.
Cream 1/2 cup of butter.
All right. Now, you cream the sugar and butter together. Add the sugar to the butter until it's very, very light and fluffy, you know. Then beat in, one at a time, 2 eggs.
Will I separate the whites and the yolks?
No, not for this one.
That's 2 eggs. I didn't have that down yet.
Yeah. Beat in, one at a time, 2 eggs.
Okay.
Now you prepare a cup of lightly mashed ripe bananas.
How many?
A cup.
How many bananas would that be?
Well, it depends on whether they're big or small.
Well, okay.
That shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Okay.
A small banana, these should take about a banana and a half, I'd guess, unless it were big.
All right.
Add to the bananas a teaspoon of vanilla.
1 teaspoon of vanilla.
And 1/4 cup of yogurt or buttermilk.
1/4 cup. Does it have to be buttermilk, or can it just...
It has to be yogurt or buttermilk.
Oh, okay.
Right,
buttermilk.
Now you add the flour mixture to the butter mixture in 3 parts, alternating it with 1/3 of the banana mixture, you know? Very good. And stir the batter after each addition until it's smooth. Now you can bake this in buttered pans for about a half hour.
And what temperature?
And the oven temperature is 350 degrees. Now you can blend in, if you'd like, a cup of walnuts.
Quiet! Excuse me.
That's all right. hit him if he interrupts you again.
Santa Claus won't be around on Christmas Eve if you don't be.
I think he's going to go north.
Uh-huh. Now, of course, a nice thing to do is to set it up in layers. You put a hole on top of the first layer. You put a couple of sliced ripe bananas, the real bananas between them.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. Remember the folks at home saying, Dennis, if you don't straighten up, young fellow, Santa will pass this house on Christmas Eve. But he never did. He always
Yeah,
stopped by
or what was
something
it? We lived next to a wonderful Scandinavian family. He was a rural mail carrier. Ola and Minnie Loftsgarden.
Well, Benjamin.
Yeah. And Minnie used to say, Santa Claus will put the coal in the stocking for you.
Listen, there are days when I was a youngster, you too, Mike, where you'd be glad to get a lump of coal in the stocking.
That's right.
Warm up the house. This is KNX and KNX FM, 1070 radio, CBS, Los Angeles. Mike Roy Show in progress, churning now through noon, sloshing its way through a rather soggy Monday morning.
Got good news for all you last-minute Christmas shoppers. The shelves and counters of the Small World Emporium are loaded with all kinds of unusual and exotic gift ideas from the four corners of the globe. We're sitting right there for all you harried hunters and belated buyers. There are jeweled goblets, clocks that tell the time all around the world. There's a wine fountain with a built-in chiller, a set of mixing and serving bar tools. There's even a phonograph with an old-fashioned tulip horn on it. And art objects and party games and gourmet foods, you'd name it. It's more fun over there. And while your gifts are being wrapped, you can give yourself a treat in the Small World restaurant, like a delicious pastry snack with wonderful coffee, or a fabulous sandwich, or your favorite cocktail. The Small World is open evenings for your shopping and dining convenience. It's located at 1625 North Coenga Boulevard, half block south of Hollywood Boulevard, and there's lots of free parking. If you'd like to call for reservations for the restaurant, the number is 464-2133. 464-2133. You been over there? Did you see those
I haven't been over there
goblets?
recently, Mike.
It's more darn fun, the Barrel of Monkeys. I get lost over there for an hour
have
at
to
a
stop
time.
by because there's a few empty spots on my Christmas gift list yet. Sounds like I
Isn't it
might
awful?
find them there. Hi, Mrs. Jackson, KNX. Your question.
Good morning, gentlemen. Mike, I have 14 perfectly beautiful little pork tenderloins that I'd like to prepare for Christmas dinner with dressing. A couple of questions. Number one, if you were going to do these with dressing, would you use your turkey dressing or a different?
Almost, I would use the turkey dressing.
No.
I think I would do something exotic and different if I had those nice little things like that.
Great.
Shall we add a little bit of recipe together?
Indeed.
Fascinates me.
Okay.
Well, let's see. Let's start with the dressing.
Yeah.
Let's use a basic turkey dressing, except let's favor it with savory.
Savory dressing.
Yeah, and let's put some pecans in it.
Pecans.
And let's put some pineapple chunks in it.
Pineapple chunks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And now let's take these nice tenderloins and just brown them.
Brown them, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And flour them and brown them, just so they get brown. Don't cook them through.
Yeah.
And let's take some aluminum foil, and for each serving, let's make a nice square sheet of it,
Packet.
Huh?
It's a marvelous idea.
Well, this is the way we're going to build it. Each one, we're going to leave it open. We're not going to steam it, but let's take a nice piece of aluminum foil and butter it.
Yeah.
And let's put a thick piece of sliced raw apple on there, skin and all, but take the core out of it.
On the bottom.
Yeah, put that on the bottom.
Yeah.
And then let's put the dressing over that.
Yeah.
And then let's put our tenderloins on top of that.
Yes.
And then let's bring the foil up around the edges, but leave the top of it open.
But yeah.
Uh-huh. And I'd use, that's now ready to go in the oven.
Yeah.
And then let's make a kind of a sweet and sour sauce, huh? Let's take the drippings we've sautéed the pork in. And let's add to that about 8 ounces or a cup of tomato sauce.
Tomato sauce, 8 ounces.
Just an 8-ounce can. And let's take, if we got pineapple chunks, let's take about 1/4 of a cup of pineapple juice.
Yeah.
We should sauté some bell pepper, I think, first.
That's a great idea.
Do some bell pepper in there first, and maybe some onion strips.
Too, yeah.
Or maybe pearl onions would look real good.
Would be great, yeah.
Uh-huh. And then after we got the pineapple juice added to it, we'd add some brown sugar.
Brown sugar.
And either lemon juice or vinegar to taste.
Or lime juice, maybe.
Yeah, lime juice would be beautiful. And then let's thicken that with a little cornstarch and soy sauce.
May I ask you a question? I'm curious. You don't seem to use arrowroot much for thickening. Why?
I love it, mainly because a lot of people find it difficult to get.
Oh.
I love arrowroot, and I use it all the time at the house. It makes the most wonderful thickening, and you use it, where it calls for you use half as much arrowroot as you do flour in a recipe.
I merely use it all the time, and I just never heard you comment on it to anything.
Oh, love it. Just think it's so great. Makes a smoother sauce, glassier, and everything about it is nicer. And I would thicken this with arrowroot then.
And then, do I pour the sauce over before I put them in the oven?
I would set them in the oven for about a half hour, 350 degrees, and then spoon the sauce over. See, you've only browned the pork loin. You haven't cooked it.
Yeah.
And set it in 350 degrees and let the pork loin go, and then add baste it with the sauce.
Baste it with the sauce and leave them in about how much longer?
About 15, 20 minutes more.
Oh, it sounds marvelous. We're going to have the most elegant dinner in town. Thank you so
All right.
much, and a very Merry Christmas to you both.
Thank you.
I might save that one for myself. I think that sounds pretty
The
good.
gleam in your eye. He was sitting here, eyes half closed, face
Yeah,
all
it's fun to
aglow.
do
I
that.
made that one up.
Yeah, that's the ad-libbing recipes are great. You cook with your mind,
It must be very confusing, when you're talking to women like this. It's the same gleam in the eye that I've seen.
Oh, no,
You
no,
know,
not
it's-
that one.
No, it's a different
No, that's a
one.
different
Well,
one. That's
you
right.
really light up like a Christmas tree.
Now, let's talk about the Kiko Man now here.
All right, baste yourself.
All right. I tell you, Kiko Man, or Kiko Man. I noticed you said Kiko Man the other day on the air. Or
I did?
Some of the boys did.
Also,
I keep saying Kiko Man.
Kiko Man.
But any way you say it is just delicious. It's a grand old product. Use it, of course, for steaks and chops and spare ribs and chicken. Gives them a unique, tantalizing flavor. And it's ready to use, too, right from your market. And it does wonders for everything you grilled. Kiko Man Hawaiian Teriyaki gives an exciting new taste to outdoor cooking, for instance. It's made and imported from Japan by the same people who make the world-famous Kiko Man soy sauce. Perfect for grilling and broiling. Simply delicious. And it does add a new touch to all your cooking, too. It's ready to use, so get acquainted with it. And if you're planning on barbecuing your turkey Thanksgiving, or Christmas rather, outside, just baste it with a little butter and sherry and Kiko Man. Man, oh man, that Kiko Man, he got it, huh?
Mrs. Gill, good morning. KNX, and your question.
Yes. I wanted to ask, I don't work with yeast dough very often, but around the holidays I often get inspired to try some of the Christmas bread.
Uh-huh.
And there is something in the recipe when you're working with yeast doughs, and I said, let rise in a warm place.
Yes.
Now, what do they mean, really, by a warm place? Near a radiator outlet?
Well, around 75 to 80 degrees. What they want to avoid is it getting in a draft where there's circulation of air. Usually a corner by an oven is a good spot.
A corner by an oven?
Yeah, or something like that.
I mean, if you have your oven going someplace.
Yeah, that's right. Uh-huh.
Now, do you wet the cloth? I remember years ago watching my grandmother wet a cloth to put over yeast dough.
No, you butter the dough real well, usually. You butter the bowl that the dough goes in, and you butter the dough itself.
Aha.
And that obviates the need for wetting the cloth.
Aha. Fine. Thank you very much.
Very good.
Hi, Mrs. Larson, KNX right here. Your question, please.
Good morning.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to find out about making a Jell-O mold.
Yes.
Something to look like a wreath.
Well, let's see what you could use for that. If you were careful with foil, you might be able to fashion a mold of that kind.
Well, I have a mold actually that has the indentations, but I just wondered what I could put inside of it to bring, making it lime.
Oh, I see. The trick here is to get the mold cold.
Uh-huh.
Now, what I do, I spray my molds with Pam first,
Yes.
and then I get them cold. Now, that I take a little bit of the first course of Jell-O and just pour it maybe 1/8 of an inch thick
Yes.
on it, and set up my fruits, which are going to show, because the bottom of the mold becomes the top when you unmold it.
Yes. And now if I put whole cherries in, what I had planned on doing, I thought, but I couldn't figure out how to get the things to stick on top. If I unmold it and put these little candied mint leaves, the jellied mint leaves, and maybe the little red candies on top to...
Oh, you're doing it the hard way, my friend.
Do it the easy way.
Yeah, Mrs. Larson, if you'll take your mold and take you have your gelatin warm, and your mold is cold, and you dip these things in the warm gelatin and put them on the mold, you know?
Yes.
You follow?
You mean inside?
Inside.
Yes.
The cold mold will set that little bit of gelatin up.
I see.
And that'll hold. Now, to doubly ensure it, when you get your design worked out that way, just pour about 1/4 of an inch of the gelatin in the mold and set that in the refrigerator to set up first.
I see.
And then that holds always, see?
You say I should warm the little things that are going to be the design.
No, just put them in the warm Jell-O.
Oh, put them in the warm Jell-O.
And then put them in the cold mold, and the cold mold will set them up.
Oh, very good. That sounds marvelous.
Very good.
One other quick question on the lady with the pork chops. You gave her a sweet and sour recipe. Can I use, on my sweet and sour for my meatballs, I use tomato sauce, lemon juice, and white sugar. Should I be using brown sugar or pineapple juice instead?
Well, I use a combination of brown sugar and pineapple juice, but that's a matter of personal taste.
Does that go for meatballs, too?
It would be fine for my taste, but you might not like it.
I like what you like.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Happy ho-ho-ho.
Oh, all right.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, man.
Don't forget that Pam with molds.
I noticed you worked that in there.
Oh, well, I tell you, it's just so important to have it, Denny, because, you know, there's nothing. Now, this gal's going to go to a lot of work dipping this stuff and making a real pretty thing. And if that doesn't turn out of that pan and it gets loused up, all that work is gone for nil.
Well, you're doing the kids out of the scraping, though. Remember, you used to get the jelly bowl and all that
Sure.
gook that was stuck on the side?
I know, but it looks so pretty when it's done right. And
Well, I can't
Pam
argue
will
there,
help you
yeah.
make those molds come out extra special. And, of course, if you're low-calorie conscious, and so many people are these days, got a big helper for you again, Pam. Pam gives you fat-free frying without those extra calories you add when you fry in fats or grease. Pam is a pure vegetable coating that stops food from sticking and adds no taste of its own. All you do is spray it on any pan you own. Even the chicken fries nicely, browns nicely, and it just won't stick. And remember, no added calories. You can even fry fish with no butter or grease. Just Pam. And fried eggs, they slide right out if you've sprayed the pan with Pam. And Pam is economical, too. 1 can coats up to 100 pans. Get Pam in the cooking oil section of your favorite store.
Mrs. Joyner, join us. Good morning. And your question, please.
Merry Christmas, Mike and Dan.
Uh-huh.
You gave a recipe for fruit slices, I guess they are, the other day.
Yes.
And I got the shortening, the sugar, and the egg, and then there was a half cup of something I missed.
That's, I just don't know what happened to that recipe. I must have a jillion requests for it, so I wrote it out.
And he can't remember it now.
So, but I think I can't remember where I put it.
It was a liquid.
I can't remember where I put the recipe, though, after I wrote it out. I've lost the thing completely. Cookies? We did it just the other day.
Right, the same day you gave the fudge.
Wait a minute, here it is. Fruit cake, fruit slices.
That's it.
Yeah. Well,
There was shortening, an egg,
uh-huh.
and then there was a half cup of something.
Well, let's see here. I wonder where she could have put this thing here, because we just did it.
You may just have to ad-lib a brand new one.
I got so many things. I think maybe Dolores does this thing properly. What happens is she files them alphabetically.
Oh, which is totally, out
No,
of place.
you can't do
no
that.
wonder you can't find it.
All right, half a cup of shortening, half a cup of sugar, 1 well-beaten egg,
Right.
half a cup of molasses,
Molasses, that's it.
half cup strong coffee or milk,
Yeah.
You
One
got-
and a half flour, one and a half teaspoon salt.
baking powder, soda, cinnamon, cloves, raisins.
Right, that's the one.
You got the molasses, huh?
Right. Now, the other thing about the fudge, does it have to be kept refrigerated after it's all cooked?
Oh, no.
It'll hold.
That's right.
Okay. Thank
Very
you
good.
so much. Bye-bye.
You're never going to be able to find anything now that your files are in order.
Yeah, she put everything and listed them correctly. I don't know how I'm going to get along without her. I'll tell you where I can find everything I need in the meat department. Ralph's. Now, that's pretty sneaky, huh?
Oh, that's pretty direct, really. Is what
All
that
right.
is.
That's
about
right.
as sneaky as a sneaky Pete.
Now is the
Boom.
time, because you'll be thinking about that big bird to be cooked next Christmas Day in your big warm oven at home. And don't be fooling around with birds you can't trust. That's good advice for anything, but especially is it good a turkey bird advice. Because these are the ones with a built-in pop-up oven temperature guide right built in them. You can't make a mistake with a turkey from Ralph's. I don't know whether it's the proper thing to sell the pop-up timer device in the Ralph turkey, because the turkey's what should be sold. It's broad-breasted, lots of white meat, it's tender, it's succulent, it's juicy. It's just a great bird. But the extra added attraction is that little pop-up meat thermometer. That's right there.
Get the bird out, it's done.
That's right. It tells you when it's done. Pops right out, just like that. Ralph's. There are meat people at Ralph's, so drop in and meet the meat people. And your Christmas bird better come from Ralph's, too. Get one of their special, exclusive type turkeys. Delicious.
Pop in and meet Mike Roy. Mrs. Barton, good morning.
Merry Christmas. I have a slight problem. I'm making, I heard the lady talking about banana cake. Well, I'm making banana breads.
Yes.
And I have 3 different size pans, and I'm doubling the recipe. How far up or high should I fill the pans, because I can't go by measurements, with the degree...
Well, not knowing exactly your recipe, but I'd say if you filled them 3/4 full, you'd be safe.
What I want to know.
Okay.
Thank you much.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Ms. Leslie, KNX here, and your question, please.
Hello, fellows.
Uh-huh.
You have such an interesting program, and thank you so much for it.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like to make some sherry-sugared pecans.
Sherry-sugared...
You know how they sell them at farmers market? I'm going to have lots of company, and I don't want to buy those little cans.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how they make theirs, and they're a trade secret. Everybody has a little different recipe. Like Denny has a friend who has a paint company who has the most wonderful nut recipe. But his are a spice type of nut, you know?
Uh-huh.
And he's written it and said, how do you do these things? I have glacés for nuts, you know?
They're the hard ones.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'd like the sugared ones.
And I don't know how they do theirs.
Well, have you anything at all that you have?
No, they're rather hard glacés rather than the soft ones that you're talking about.
Well, then, Mike, may I take advantage of this? I missed the rum ball recipe. Can it be made with sherry wine instead of the rum?
Yes, they may.
Now, sometimes when you repeat it, would you repeat it? Because I was called to the door when you gave the recipe.
Yes, I have several different ones of those, and they...
Regular with the chocolate...
This is a cup of vanilla wafer crumbs.
Uh-huh.
You can change those different cookies if you'd like.
Uh-huh.
A cup of pecans chopped fine.
Uh-huh.
A cup of powdered sugar.
Powdered sugar.
2 tablespoons of Dutch cocoa.
2 tablespoons. Mm-hmm.
Dutch cocoa. 1.5 tablespoons of white Karo syrup.
White Karo syrup.
And 1/4 cup or more of rum or bourbon, and if you want to use sherry, fine.
1/4 cup sherry.
As a matter of fact, you know, this might not be a bad idea if you wanted to take nuts and dip them in this and put this kind of a coating on them and toss them in it.
Oh.
You'd be creative, and I think they'd dry out.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that would be real good.
I think it would. It'd be a good flavor, and I think it would work that way.
Good.
So you want to stay away from the glacé, which is the hard boil, the hard cook.
Yes, I do.
And this might do it for you.
Good.
All right, try it.
And thanks a lot, and Merry Christmas to you both.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas, man. Made another discovery there, Michael.
Yeah, just thinking out loud there for a moment. Can I sell some Bridgeford bread at the moment?
Okay, pitch the Bridgeford to me,
That's
Daddy.
right. Homemade bread. This time of the year especially should you be having it. Kids home from school down our end of town now.
Well, they're home all over town, I'm afraid.
Nah, kids love homemade bread, and they love to make it, too, so why don't you give the bread baking chores to them? Let them do it with Bridgeford. Now, actually, this is frozen bread dough, and all you got to do is follow the simple directions on the package. Butter the loaf, put it in a greased baking dish, let it thaw and rise overnight, and then cook it. It's so good that it's been awarded a 6th consecutive gold medal for excellence of quality, flavor, and texture. Bridgeford bread. It's at your store right now. Won't you try it?
How'd you like to be home taking care of the kids that are off from school on a day like today where it's pouring rain outside, there's no chance they can get out of doors, and you're going to be trapped indoors?
Oh, I'd get lots of things going for them in a hurry, but I I don't think I can get that into Coffee Rich very easy.
Oh, yeah, we put on another cup of coffee because Mom's going to need something to settle her nerves, and we flavor
There
it
you
with
go.
Coffee
Okay.
Rich. How's that, huh?
John Bickerson.
What's the matter, Blanche? What's the matter?
Turn over on your side. Go on.
Oh, Cal. Who put this block of ice in my bed?
It's not a block of ice. It's a frozen carton of Coffee Ridge. Lay on it.
Why should I lay on frozen Coffee Rich at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Because I want it to thaw out.
Oh, this is insane.
You know Coffee Rich is your favorite non-dairy liquid creamer.
Okay, put out the lights.
You like its rich taste that's better than cream, right?
All right, now just put out
You
the
like
light.
the way it tastes on cereals and freshens the flavor of fruits, right?
Blanche,
It
will
has fewer calories per ounce than cream, right?
The lights, Blanche. Put out the
And you like
lights.
the way it stays fresh 3 weeks in the refrigerator so there's no waste.
Oh, dear.
And you love its new low cost. Now roll over on it and keep it warm.
What am I, a mother cow?
Coffee Rich doesn't need a cow, John. It's the leading liquid non-dairy creamer.
Holy mackerel, I married a radio announcer.
Free with Coffee Rich, famous make color film. See the Coffee Rich carton in your shopping bag freezer for this terrific offer.
Mrs. Pickard, good morning. Your question for Mike.
Yes, Christmas cheer to you both.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mike, I am having an open house Saturday night for people to drop in as no special time, and I plan to have a buffet with that. I would like to cook my turkey your method on Thursday, and I was wondering what is the best way to slice that to keep it nice for Saturday night. Slice it while it's still warm, or let it get cold, and then slice it and put it in saran wrap or baggies or something like that.
Always slice it cold. Much easier, much nicer. It'll slice much better.
Fine. And also, if I stuffed it, although I'm not going to serve dressing, would it help the flavor at all?
I always think it does, but not that much.
Not that much.
No.
One other little thing, I plan to serve salads, and since I don't know what time people will be coming, I'm having a 24-hour fruit salad and a molded salad. Have you any idea how I might keep those cold on the table so that they're not just blah? I just have regular bowls and...
I would set them up in... are you going to have an ice part to your table?
No, I hadn't planned to.
I would serve them in smaller batches from the refrigerator, and don't toss them ahead. Serve the dressing on the side.
Serve the dressing on the side, and then serve in small batches and take one away and put another there as...
That's right, and keep crisping it.
Fine. Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Mrs. Elvira, greetings to you and your question.
Yes, I would like to know how to prepare rice for stuffing Cornish hens, because usually my rice doesn't get done.
Well, it should be thoroughly cooked before you start.
Oh, I see.
Now, any good steamed rice recipe would do it.
Okay.
But it should be done before you start.
Is there any special seasoning I should use?
Well, I think that it should be seasoned with seasonings that complement your Cornish game hen.
Mm-hmm.
A little thyme, a little oregano, some parsley, that type of thing.
Okay, thank you very
All
much.
righty.
Would you like a jigger of vitamin C, Mike?
Oh,
You got,
yeah.
might
Need
help a
some
little?
right now.
All right.
Vitapack, the fresh chilled orange juice blend that brims with health and vitality, plays Santa Claus with an exciting toy offer. A dinky toy model car offer for the drivers of tomorrow. Now listen, these are values to $2.50 in authentically scaled Buicks, T-Birds, and Austin Jeeps. Yours for only $1 in one Vitapack orange juice blend guarantee seal. Dinky toy model cars. They're die-cast of durable metal to withstand plenty of playtime wear. They're precision engineered just like full-sized road cars. Loads of action features. Opening hoods, trunks, doors, chrome grille, independent suspension, real tires, windows, inside seating. But you better hurry. Send for all three Dinky toy models. The Buick Riviera, the Ford T-Bird, the Austin Jeep. For every car, mail $1 and one Vitapack orange juice blend guarantee seal to Cars Vitapack, Covina, California. That's Cars Vitapack, Covina, California.
Hi, Ms. McCloskey, KNX and Mike Roy standing by. And your question, please.
I wonder if Mike can give me a recipe for macaroni salad.
Yes, the whole trick of it, I think, is in the first treatment of the macaroni.
Oh?
In other words, when you parboil your macaroni and you drain it,
Yes.
that's when you add...
Do you rinse it with cold water?
No.
No?
No. Pour good French dressing over it.
French dressing?
And this is oil and vinegar type basic French dressing.
Yes.
And toss it in that and let it chill with that.
Yes.
And then you go ahead and add the other things that you'd like to it, like piccalilli, and if you'd like to add some chopped onion.
Yes.
And chopped celery.
And how about pimento?
Yes, if you'd like.
I've made it now with mayonnaise, but I was thinking of using Miracle Whip. Which do you recommend?
Well, I don't think there's any comparison for my taste. Miracle Whip's a fine product, and I like it, but I like it with mayonnaise. You can make it if you want to make it with Miracle Whip. Go ahead and do it. But the trick of it is letting the macaroni cool, being tossed with French dressing.
Oh, that's the trick.
That's right.
All right, thank you, and Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you.
Merry Christmas. Ms. Carroll, good morning to you. Your question.
Danny, my husband would like to have me roast chickens the same way as the Thanksgiving turkey. He really liked that. Now, he brought home some 3.5-pound roasters. How do I change that?
Well, you follow the same basic thing. The only difference is in the cooking time.
Well, it'd be about 20 minutes. It'd be 70 minutes for a 3.5-pound. Under those conditions, 20 per pound, wouldn't it?
About that, I would say that it'd take about. I'd allow an hour and a half to roast them.
Hour and a half, and then that's 275, and they'll brown, breast down, everything just the same. With the dressing, little dressing inside.
Yes.
Thanks a million, Mike.
You're welcome. Mrs. Salcio, greetings to you and your question.
My question is, I'm giving these Sandy cookies, they're rolled cookies, and I roll them in powdered sugar. I'm giving them for Christmas, and I'm putting them in some little decanters.
Yes.
And my question is, I rolled them the last time, and they got kind of sticky. And also, I wish to know, if I make them like tonight, will they stay for Christmas?
Yes, they will stay for Christmas. How did you pack them before?
Well, I lined the decanters like with baggies, and I put candy underneath them. Then I put the cookies inside the baggies.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I rolled them too warm. I let them cool slightly, but I don't know.
They should be real cool and real dry before you wrap them. Otherwise, they'll pick up the moisture, and then when they get in the baggie, they give off the moisture, and that's when they get soggy.
Oh, I see. But they will last until Christmas?
Oh, yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.
Shall we journey through a winery, Michael?
Yeah. When you buy wines for your holiday dining and as gifts for family and friends, how can you be really sure that you're buying the finest? Well, one way, of course, is take the advice of experts, the wine judging at the State and County Fair, who tasted Brookside wines and honored them with 40 medals for excellence. But an even better way is to taste Brookside wines yourself. And then you let your own good taste be the judge. You be Brookside's guest in the tasting room at any of the 15 convenient neighborhood wineries and sample from a selection of almost 100 wines. Brookside has produced wines of enduring character since 1832. These superb wines, brandies, and champagnes are sold exclusively in Brookside's wineries, retail sales cellars, and tasting rooms. Have to go right to them. So, visit your neighborhood Brookside winery today. Find it under wineries in the yellow pages, under Brookside in the white pages, or you call 652-9662. Brookside Vineyard Company, Old Guasti, California. Incidentally, the people there who preside at these cellars will really help you with your selections. This is one way to find out about wines.
Mrs. Rosenblatt, we have a little less than a minute to try and answer your question.
Okay, I'll make it fast. I'm making hot mushrooms and dill cream for an hors d'oeuvre for Christmas Eve.
Yes.
Now, can I make it now and freeze it with the sour cream in it, or use an imitation sour cream, or not put the sour cream in?
Well, let's see. You're a week ahead now.
Yes.
What I would do, if you could make it Wednesday, it would hold beautifully.
Well, it would hold. Well, what about but I've already started making it.
I'm sure it'll hold anyway.
I think it'll hold with the sour cream in it.
Yes.
And can I freeze something? Can I freeze a cheddar cheese loaf, or will that hold?
Well, that'll hold, too. There's no need to freeze it.
Okay, fine. Thank you very much.
About that time, Mike.
Yeah, did you bring the rain again? I thought, here we are with the last of the Christmas shopping to do, and you didn't bring rain.
Yeah, I was talking to Bob Curry Saturday. Of course, he's one of the fellows on the outside walking around the Herald Examiner building at the moment.
Oh, God.
And he asked, couldn't I talk to Bill Keene, and kind of arrange for some sunny weather while they're going through this?
Let
and if you recall,
like
you remember,
That's right.
12 days out of 13, pouring rain. So Keene's about the last guy to consult when it's time to change the weather. And we'll consult with the Noon Hour News, Bob Arthur, Russ Powell. They may have a happy word for us. They'll be along 60 seconds from now. And
Yeah.
Mike,
See you tomorrow.
I'm back 11:15 till high noon. Take care. I'll be along with the Afternooner, 110, here on KNX and KNX FM. 1070 CBS, Los Angeles.